So the Scaling Up Podcast YouTube channel has released a video titled Wrestlers Who Stopped Raja Jackson Speak Out. And if you've not heard of Raja Jackson, well, I would not blame you, because the first time I heard about this animal was from the incident that happened a couple of days ago. But he is the son of former UFC fighter and UFC champion Quentin Rampage Jackson. Now, Rampage Jackson is considered to be one of the best fighters of all time by a lot of UFC people and people who are into MMA in general. And he is also a TNA alumni who was in the Main Event Mafia. Now, he spent a year in TNA, I believe, but I think this will come to be a little bit important a little later from what we have learned so far. Now, the video has been played quite a bit on other channels, and I am not going to play that video on this one. It's just pretty violent, and it's really upsetting and unsettling, especially as a fan of wrestling. But I do want to talk about the events that led up to this and then kind of go into this interview talking about what really happened afterwards, because there's quite a bit of information that we learned from this wrestler in general. But the wrestler who was brutally assaulted by Raja Jackson, well, his name is Stuart Smith, also known as Psycho Stu in the ring. He is an Army veteran, and he used wrestling as a mechanism to cope with his PTSD. Now, Raja and Stu's first interaction was in a parking lot, and what I assume is the promotion's parking lot itself. Now, according to Doug, he says that Raja was invited by another wrestler named AJ Mana. Now, AJ apparently has some sort of beef with Stu, and we'll get into that a little later. But with AJ basically inviting Raja there, and with all the cameras there, a lot of people assumed that Raja was there to work, which is where we see the beer can being smashed on Raja's head. Now, keep in mind that the wrestler AJ Mana, who invited Raja to this event, did not say that Raja was a worker or was not a worker until after the fact, right? And again, with all the cameras around, being invited by another wrestler, he looks like he could be a wrestler. I think that they rightfully assumed that, yes, Raja was there working. And if you do not know the difference between a work and what's not a work, well, a work is what it sounds like. You're working, you're trying to make money, you're trying to entertain the audience and the fans and everything. You're basically just going out there to do what, well, you're both supposed to do. Now, unlike works, there are things called shoots, which, well, those are real unscripted events that really deviate from the story that wrestling is trying to convey. Think of it as actors in a movie who are having a fight scene, but they actually start really punching each other, trying to cause each other harm. Let's go ahead and take a look at the beer can smashing incident.
Yeah. You need to be worried about Psycho Stu.
Psycho Stu?
What, you don't know me?
Hell no. Yeah.
Hey, I think that's a little.
Oh, you don't sell it?
Easy. He's not a fucking worker, bro. Calm down.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
You're good.
What the fuck was that?
You don't sell it?
Dude, he's not a fucking
Bro.
worker, bro.
What the fuck was that? Hold on. I don't play that shit, bro.
Oh, sorry about
Nah,
that.
I will fuck him
we're
up,
good.
bro.
I know
Nah,
you will.
nah.
We're good.
I will
Sorry
fuck
about
him
that.
up, bro.
I know you will.
I don't play that shit.
Sorry about that.
Nah, I will.
Now, realizing that he actually wasn't there to work, he was there as a guest, that, again, Black Cowboy Hat Man did not say anything about, well, Stu did apologize to Raja not once, but twice, okay? And one thing I find interesting about watching that video again was that when he was hit in the head with the beer can, one of the guys, I believe it's the cameraman, saying, "Hey, bro, he's not an effing worker." And Raja goes, "Yeah, what the F was that?" Which kind of, to me, implies that he knows the difference between a work and a shoot. And once again, his dad was in wrestling. His friend is there. AJ Mana, apparently, they're friends. He is a wrestler, okay? You would think that he would know the difference between a work and a shoot. And with that, it kind of seemed like he did, at least with that response. On the other hand, it seems like Raja Jackson has the temperament of a 4-year-old, so who knows? Now, after apologizing to him twice, well, they all basically collectively say, "Hey, if you get in the ring, go ahead and give me my receipt."
So fucking seal that.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah.
I'm sorry, bro. Hey, it's gonna all work out.
Yeah. Hello.
I apologize.
I appreciate it.
I didn't know. I thought you were first. Camera.
I get it.
We're working out. Well, he's gonna come out on your mat, Juice. I know you keep thinking we're working. We're always working.
I get it. Yeah. I get it now. Now you
know what I'm saying? We're always working.
So, if you do not know what a receipt is in wrestling, well, it's basically a, hey, if you accidentally hit me for real or do whatever to me for real, you're going to get yours at some point. It's kind of the wrestling equivalent of an eye for an eye. So before going out there to the event where the wrestling matches were taking place, it seems like AJ Mana, the wrestler, was telling Raja, hey, go ahead and give him your receipt. You remember what a receipt is, right?
You run in on his shit, you fucking give him his receipt. You remember what a receipt is? Give him that fucking receipt, bro. Tag his shit. If you got a fucking problem with it, I'll fucking run out there. Tag his shit, bro.
This tells me that Raja is not ignorant to the wrestling terminology. And it seems to me that Mr. AJ Mana has taken this a little personally as well, which kind of leads me to believe that Doug is telling the truth, that there is some sort of dislike between AJ and Stu, and AJ may be using really the volatility of Raja to go after Stu vicariously.
Issues. So real quick, that's the friend of Raja who brought him to the event.
That's the small calf, small ass chicken legs bitch with the cowboy hat.
So this fight, whatever you want to call it, Jackson
attempted murder.
Right, this attempted murder, he landed like 20 something punches on him. 23 punches on him. You pull him off, and then he tried to go at you. So that was he trying to continue beating him even further?
I think the culmination between his dad picking on him and all his daddy issues came out, and all the shit that AJ gassed up into his head. Because let me put it this way, I don't like Raja. I think Raja's a shit person for what he did. But I think AJ's a bigger shit person for gassing him up to be in that fucking ring, to leading him to ruin his own fucking life, to hurt somebody that AJ also has a fucking problem with. You can't fucking tell me that's not, I don't believe in coincidence.
He was basically trying to put the blood on someone else's hands.
Exactly, because he's not going to do it himself. Mm-hmm. You know, the few little backyard fights he fucking got in where he got beat the up, and then you got somebody that's a real fighter, trained by somebody that's one of the greatest of all time, and then you had him do your dirty work. He ruined two people's lives.
So after telling him that, hey, you need to go get your receipt, Raja decided that he was going to do a little bit more than just give him one receipt. As a matter of fact, I don't believe he was out there to just give him a receipt. He was out there for blood. But please don't take my word for it.
Tell you guys this, they told me to hit him and just leave. Somebody who pull me off of him will leave. I'm telling you, I'm gonna hit him as many times as I can. Watch. No, they didn't tell me to fake hit him. They said I could hit him for real. Yeah, they allowed me to hit him for real.
Now, as we can see from the video, he went in there fully intending to hit him as many times as he possibly could until they had to pull them off of him. Now, I'm not going to play the video of Stu being assaulted by Raja, but I will say if Doug did not step in to stop this, well, Stu would probably no longer be with us. I mean, it was that brutal. Now, when you watch the video in question, you see that Raja body slams Stu first, and it's a really awkward body slam, especially when you watch wrestling. You can tell it's a little awkward. And Doug believes that Stu was knocked out at the initial slam, and then he was subsequently hit about 23 times. Now, the injuries that they say Stu received, this is coming from Doug and Ian, the other gentleman in the interview, were as follows. They says that Stu suffered from broken facial bones. He had missing teeth. He had no recollection of what happened. He was incoherent. He choked on his own blood and his teeth. He was missing the majority of his teeth. And when paramedics arrived, they had to perform CPR just to get him to breathe again. Stu also had some brain swelling, and he was put into an induced coma. He is awake now, but Ian, the other gentleman in the interview, states that the swelling has gone down. He seems up and alive, but he's having trouble walking, keeping balance, and was taken off a breathing tube. He can't remember anything that really happened that night. Another thing that you notice in the video and Doug expresses his shock by was, well, nobody else was going into the ring to really help. There was one guy with face paint on that was kind of like, oh, get off of him, get off of him. But he really wasn't doing anything. When Doug eventually came in there, he's the one that kind of tackled Raja off of Stu and really saved Stu's life. Now, during Stu's match, Doug was asked to be present. He thought that was a little weird because his match was the match right before Stu's. So he was already kind of gassed out and stuff like that, but he was asked to attend Stu's match because there was, quote unquote, something not right, okay? And they would let him know when to step in. He says that he is one of the few wrestlers at the promotion that actually knows how to fight, and he believes now, looking at it in hindsight, that he was asked to be there to basically take on Raja if Raja went overboard. And he also has a feeling that they knew that Raja would go overboard. Now, one reason why they believe this is because, well, the promotion was telling its wrestlers and staff to not speak to the police about the matter at hand. However, they were encouraging everyone to share the events that took place. This basically ruined Doug's trust in the promotion. Stu was there since the promotion's inception. Doug was there for 3 years, and Doug says that he has now left the promotion because he can no longer trust them with his body and his health. As a wrestler, you need to make sure that you are in safe hands, and after this incident, well, it's pretty reasonable to assume that the promotion is not looking out for your best interest. Now, one thing that I find very interesting about this is, well, this promotion is run by Rikishi, the ex-wrestler, and it's affiliated with WWEID. Well, what is WWEID, I hear you ask? Well, WWEID is WWE's independent development program. It's designed to provide independent wrestlers a clear pathway to a potential WWE career. So this is something that I see being a really bad look for WWE, and they can completely lose the ID partnership. Now, our main protagonist, Doug, did say that Rikishi was not present when this occurred. He said that he was out of the state and that he has no ill feelings towards Rikishi, that he loves Rikishi and the family and has no problems with him whatsoever. Now, as of this recording on the 26th of August at 5:30 in the morning, Raja has yet to be arrested. However, there are plenty of calls for his arrest, but none has been made at this time. Now, Stu does have a GoFundMe set up. I believe it was set up by his wife. They talk about it in the podcast, or the YouTube video rather. And I will be posting that in the description below if you would like to donate to it, as well as the podcast video on the matter itself, where you can get a little bit more information from the people who are actually there. Now, I know I'm just a very small YouTuber, but hey, I'm just going to set it there. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for doing that. I don't know if I will, but it's just going to be there just in case you would like to donate. And one other thing to mention is that Stu used wrestling as a coping mechanism for his PTSD. So, my worry for him is, let's say he does get better with no problems, with, God willing that he does. Is this going to be a thing where when he gets into the ring, he starts to have more PTSD issues because of that? Is he ever going to be the same in the ring again? We don't know. But that's pretty much all we have today. I will link the podcast in the description below. It's called the Scaling Up Podcast. I'll link their YouTube channel where you can see the video. I will also link the GoFundMe if you would like to donate to that. But I have really nothing else to say about this. This was a really abhorrent event. It was really, really unsettling to see as a wrestling fan. I think that Raja definitely needs some help, but he needs to go to prison. And really think about his life choices from then on out. But other than that, I have nothing else to say. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.